We have some significant breaking news in the NHL. We have a big trade between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Winnipeg Jets involving two high-profile prospects. We'll discuss the deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some significant breaking NHL news to discuss. Rutger McGroarty, the disgruntled prospect for the Jets who's been wanting a trade, has finally gotten his wish. The Penguins and the Jets hook up on a trade here involving two former first-round picks. Of course, we know that Rutger McGroarty, of course, wanted to sign with the Jets after the college season ended this past spring. The Jets were also willing to sign him, but the relationship seemed to went sour when he wasn't going to be guaranteed NHL minutes and then spot in the NHL lineup and may have to spend some time in the AHL affiliate team, which really was, a lot of people were taken aback by that and really disappointed to hear. Obviously, you don't, want a prospect coming in feeling entitled no matter how good they feel they are. Yes, it's confidence, but to some degree, you could argue it is entitlement as well. So McGroarty, at that point, demanded a trade because and said he wouldn't sign because of the relationship going sour. But he was pretty excited to be a Jet before that. There's lots of interviews and things on record showing how excited he was. But at the same time, things went bad. So he gets traded today to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, he was the 14th overall pick in the 22 NHL draft, put up 52 points last year at the University of Michigan, where he's played the past couple of years. Viewed upon as being, somebody with good leadership skills as well. Has been a captain. He's 20 years old. Plays the wing, 6'1" or 200 pounds. Like, he's got good size. He's traded for Brayden Yager, the former 14th overall pick as well, except in 2023. Of course, he played his junior hockey in Canada, Western Hockey League, for the Moose Jaw Warriors. He's a right shot centerman, a little bit smaller, 5'11", but he put up 95 points last year in the WHL, which is certainly pretty known as being a pretty offensive league. So Yager signed his 3-year ELC with Pittsburgh not too long ago. And, this is a deal that's interesting. I mean, from Winnipeg's perspective, we know that this is the type of player they want it back. They made it pretty clear from reports we had heard and talked about here on the channel that if they were going to move McGroarty, they wanted something back of comparable, a comparable player, like somebody who's also a former first rounder that might be similar, upside, you could say. Not necessarily the same style, same size or anything like that, because they're different players, but somebody who they feel could be an important piece for their team. And Yager very well could be that. I mean, he's from Western Canada, from Saskatoon, so I suspect that there won't be any issues with him playing in Winnipeg. And he has tons of offensive talent. So clearly, the Penguins felt like he was expendable here for a chance to get better. So, in my opinion, if I'm Dubas trying to get inside his head to make this deal, I would suspect that McGroarty, it's fair to say he's further along in his development. He's a year older. He's more NHL ready than Yager is. And he sees an opportunity to get McGroarty into the lineup this year and make the team better while still rebuilding. We know he's made it clear they need to get younger. They need to get more draft picks. They need to start turning things over, but they also want to make sure they remain as competitive as possible in the final years of Crosby, Malkin, Letang. Obviously, we're still waiting for a Crosby extension. We don't know what's going on there. It's another big question mark hanging over this team right now. But, for the time being, to make this move in the short term, I think it would be good. At the same time, you would have liked to see them acquire players like this without giving up your own highly talented first rounders, right? So obviously from Winnipeg's perspective, they're not going to make the move without getting that kind of player back. So I think Winnipeg's done pretty good here considering. Now, who will be the better player long term? It's too early to tell. I think we could see a scenario where Pittsburgh might get more gratification out of this early because McGroarty likely going to play NHL games first, but long term, it's hard to say. Winnipeg might make out just fine. Yager could be a fine NHL player with a fine career and prove to be an important acquisition for them, right? But it will probably be a little bit longer before we really see and know that. Yager is likely going to play at least one more year of junior before he really has a good shot at getting to the NHL. But McGroarty likely signs, I would suspect, with the Penguins here a short time from now and makes the NHL roster this year, because I suspect that they probably had to give him some sort of a guarantee in order to make the trade. So we'll see what happens, but obviously big deal for both sides. Could have large impacts on both sides long term. We don't know exactly how that's going to play out, but like I said, I do like this trade for Pittsburgh, but I would have preferred to see them get McGroarty without having to give up Yager, because now you're not really further ahead for acquiring that young talent, but it's also tough. You have to give up value to get value, and that's how it becomes so challenging in the NHL to make these types of moves. And Winnipeg wasn't doing this deal without someone like Yager being included. So let me know what you think in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.